Hi. I'm here to do a Q&A. Thank you to the Marvel and DC Marshlands for suggesting Q&A, and thank you to everybody who asked questions. There were a few questions, I think, asking about stuff they didn't have a lot to say about, so I think that I answered that stuff like right away, and then the questions I have more of an opinion about, I'm here to now do, but I certainly appreciate everybody that took the time to ask me a question. From Talon the Amazing, who writes, uh, asking what my favorite live action film is and my favorite animated film. For live action, uh, and of course things could always change. Currently, uh, Batman, the 1966 film, the film that I have a poster of in my room. The 1966 Batman film really means a lot to me because the cast of the film really means a lot to me. Cesar Romero, Burgess Meredith, and Frank Gorshin are my favorite Joker, Penguin, and Riddler, respectively. I think they were so incredible in those roles and feel so definitive and hard to top, in my opinion. And I think that Adam West really brought so much heart to Batman, where he got a lot of ridiculous stuff to do and he's so entertaining. But I feel like he also brought a real, sincere sense of sentimentality that really helps me appreciate Batman on a new level. So I love Batman, the movie, the 1966 film. Favorite animated film? I think that I would have to go with The Wind Rises, a really great anime film, which I have often thought of as not just my favorite anime film, but I've also thought of it as my favorite film. A film that really pulled on my heartstrings in a very deep way, and I think that it has such a beautiful, imaginative way of looking at real life where airplanes aren't something that I personally feel very passionate about, but why I think I can relate to what Jiro Horikoshi goes through in the film is that he feels so much passion about what he loves, and he has daydreams about what he loves, and I feel like I can relate to loving stuff like that and thinking about it in kind of imaginary ways at looking at real life stuff, and I connect to the film so deeply personally. Uh, Next, from Cold Scarecrow, asking what I like most about Code Geass and my thoughts on Zero both versions. Well, when it comes to Zero, I mean the first Zero, pretty hard to top. The second Zero hasn't gotten a lot to do, so not a lot to say there. But what I like most about Code Geass, that is very hard because I love Code Geass so much. Well, I do think that Code Geass is possibly the most interesting plot, the best character ensemble, and some of the best visuals of any show. So I guess I have three things that I like the most instead of just one. From the Lord of Forbidden Decks, asking, do I prefer the older, more classic DC cartoons or the edgier stuff that's been put on in recent years? Well, that's very easy for me personally. Definitely the older stuff. Uh, Stuff from decades ago. Um, yeah, I think like 60s, 70s, 90s. Not so much the most recent stuff. Not although there is still recent DC stuff that I still like, but definitely prefer classic DC. Um, Then from Based Asuka, asking any anime that I plan to watch in the future. There's a lot of anime that I've considered watching, but I don't have any big definitive plans at the moment or anything. And then Based Asuka also asking favorite VTuber besides Mori. I have more than one answer. Earth is certainly up there, or Ariaster, um, Takashi Kira, Narissa Ravencroft. Uh, there's a lot of really good VTubers. And then from Venona Thok, it's a hard name for me to pronounce. I'm not familiar from getting comments from the person, but I certainly appreciate getting a question asked. Asking what motivates me to do videos consistently. Well, I really enjoy working on them, and I want to get a lot of my thoughts out there, and I want to put out videos often to help my channel. And then Earth, who I mentioned earlier, one of my favorite VTubers, asking if all the pink characters I knew had to fight all the yellow characters, I know what color would win and why. So I guess asking if, like, I don't know, Magenta fought Tweety Bird, who would win? Well, I would like to imagine that they would not fight and become friends and learn that uh, doesn't matter the color, it matters the heart, and that they can all be nice, heartfelt friends together and get along and be really close, wonderful friends and stuff like that. And question from it's hard name to pronounce, like Shaka. Asking how does autism affect my daily life? Autism has often made it hard for me to socialize as much as I want, and it has often made it hard for me to understand certain things, being able to sometimes separate genuine stuff from humor, although I can certainly do that sometimes, but there have been times where it's been hard. Autism for me has prevented me from doing a lot of stuff that I wanted to do, but I have gotten a lot better. And it's not something that I've been able to do in a day. It's taken several days, as well as months, and in some cases years, where there was a time where I wasn't socializing with anybody outside of my family, and like when I was being asked certain questions and stuff at school, and stuff like that. So there was a time where I was basically just socializing with my parents, my grandfather, and that was about it. But I'm able to write to a lot of people and gain a lot of friends and develop new friendships, and been able to socialize a lot more than ever before. So I have actually gotten a lot better, and still progress to make, but I've gotten significantly better in some aspects. Some aspects feel like, well, I think I've gotten better. In some aspects, I need to still work on. So yes, the autism does still affect my daily life, but I have made somewhat of a journey, and I really think that all the people that have been writing to me have been so kind to me have really helped me with that journey.